the Hills. My name is Toby Tyler. I'm a member of the Legislative Ministry Board as well. And I'm also a member of this congregation and liaison for this congregation. Anybody who's in this place that doesn't know that, now you do. Unlike Misty, I am not a part of the choir. And the choir is thankful.
You can join us anytime,
No, Jim, no. I do want to read a little piece from the mission statement of the Legislative Ministry. The mission of the Unitarian Universalist Legislative Ministry of New Jersey is to provide the comprehensive structure for New Jersey UU's nonpartisan activism. We work for a socially just public policy in collaboration with like-minded organizations through education, research, advocacy, witness, and service. An important component of the activities of the Legislative Ministry is to strengthen social justice programs at the congregational level, facilitate communication among congregations, like this program, and serve as a source of information. And it's this idea of a source of information that I want to talk about just a little bit today. None of us has a total understanding of the issues that the Legislative Ministry is working on. Through the publication of white papers, our new video series, and public forums, we bring you information to help make an informed decision about certain issues. So I just want to show you a little video clip that gives an idea of what some of the task force issues are about that other people have mentioned. So hang on just a second.
To providing a voice of justice, equality, and compassion. Welcome to YUUR Voice, a New Jersey public policy program of the Unitarian Universalist Legislative Ministry of New Jersey. UULMNJ is dedicated to providing a voice of justice, equality, and compassion, and to raising the ethical and moral questions related to our state's social issues and legislative issues. My name is Reverend Craig Hirschberg. I am the Executive Director of UULMNJ and your host for this program. This series of educational programs will explore important social issues facing New Jersey, including economic justice, mass incarceration, environmental sustainability, immigration, and other important issues. Today, we are exploring mass incarceration, which is commonly known as the new Jim Crow. This term was coined by Michelle Alexander, who authored the book, The New Jim Crow, Mass Incarceration in an Age of
Justice Reform at issue. Why is it important, and what may its relation be to other issues?
Well, I would say what makes it important is its relation to all these other issues. criminal justice reform, and in particular drug policy reform, impacts so many areas in terms of economic inequality, in terms of racial justice, in terms of the criminalization of pregnant women that we're seeing increasingly across the country, and in terms of voting rights. We look today at so many, here in New Jersey, between 14 and 16% of African American men at any given time can't vote because they are on parole or probation. And this is one of the things that leads people to call the drug war and our current mass incarceration the new Jim Crow. So I think it is the intersection with all that makes it so important.
I think it's also the absolute magnitude of it, right? The United States has 5% of the world's population, yet a quarter of the world's incarcerated population. And that's 2.3 million people. That's not just 2.3 million people's lives disrupted. That's 2.3 million families' lives thrown into turmoil, 2.3 million communities destroyed. And so it's the absolute scope. It's also the fact that it doesn't impact all Americans on the same level, right? You have people of color making up about 30% of the United States population, but 60% of the prison population. So there are all those reasons it matters. But also to reinforce Richard's point, Reverend King famously talked about just condemning the war in Vietnam. He said, the bombs dropped in Vietnam exploded home. And what that meant was money spent on the war in Vietnam was money not being spent on programs of social uplift. So every dollar we spend on mass incarceration is a dollar we're not spending on healthcare. It's a dollar we're not spending on education. It's a dollar we're not spending on job training.
Tell me about the Bergen County case. What was life like there?
Well, life as a prisoner is never easy, but at the Bergen County Jail, as immigration detainees, it was not good, because I believe that immigration detainees, most of us are not really criminals. We're not there because of crimes that we committed. We're there just because of immigration issues or paperwork issues. So I believe that we should not be considered as people that, as criminals.
I've got a lot of people that overstaying a visa or coming into this country without proper papers. It's not a criminal offense, it's a civil offense. It's like not paying a fine or something like that.
Well, in fact, if you're coming as a refugee, there's not an offense at all.
Fair enough.
In the Geneva Convention.
Exactly, but in these detention centers, you are actually, you as an immigrant, you are actually considered as a criminal per se. Even when we're there for visits and stuff, we are being held we're behind the glass on the phone. We're not allowed to touch each other or anything like that. So I don't think that's the proper way to go about visits for immigrants, for people that are here just because they, trying to get a better life and stuff like that. So, and there's a lot of stuff that happened into immigration detention, whether you're not considered as the general population, So a lot of stuff been happening in there, talking about the food, talking about your religious beliefs not being respected, talking about how your rights are constantly violated in there.
You can open those curtains up now.
I think President, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but
Five or six videos that we've made that can be shown at congregations to provide information and background about just what the issues are that we're working on. Now I want to introduce the ever shy Reverend Charlie Ortman.
Have a little bit of microphone, thank you. Let's go ahead. So the preacher stood before the body that was gathered together and said, "This is an organization that can crawl. that's what it wants to do. But this is an organization that can walk. Somebody from the back of the room yelled, "Let them walk, preacher. Let them walk." He went on and said, "This is a congregation that can walk if it wants to. But this is a congregation that can run." Somebody from the back of the room hollered, "Let them run, preacher, let them run." He was really getting wound up in this. It's a congregation that can run if that's what it wants to do, but this is a congregation that can fly. Somebody from the back of the room yelled, "Let them fly, preacher, let them fly." The preacher said, "If we're going to do that, if we're going to fly, then everybody here is going to have to really give a lot of money, because it takes money to fly." And someone from the back of the room yelled, "Let them walk, preacher." Let them walk. So here's the deal, my friends. From the beginning of this country, from the very beginning, from the signing of the Declaration of Independence, Unitarians and Universalists both have made a huge difference in the course of history for the people of our nation and state by state across all the states. And in the New Jersey Legislative Ministries, we have the opportunity to do just that. When people say, Unitarians have done all of those things, Unitarian Universalists have done all those things, yes, why is that? Not because we're an enormous organization, but because we're a dedicated organization. So I'm going to ask you to be dedicated not just to the work of this organization, but also to the support of this organization. We have staff members. Judy Strachan, who is the board treasurer just these days, is known for saying this. You know, we look a little bit too much like Walmart employers. We have staff members who work way beyond what we're paying them. And if we want to do the kind of work that we are intended to do, that we intend to do, we need to be able to be just here. Oh, my favorite choir. You know, I love all the choirs. Wait till you see these guys. And when Summit sang, I thought for a minute I was a member of that choir, but then I wasn't. So I'm so delighted to have so many new faces here, because so many of you are not familiar with my father's checkbook. My father is long since deceased, and his checks ran out a long time ago, and so my checks are in this checkbook. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to write a $100 check, and I'm going to ask you to match that. Now, Toby Tyler, who just spoke a moment ago, is willing to match all of our pledges up to $8,000, Toby? Up to $1,000. Up to $1,000, and so I'm going to give $100, and so that means that my gift is worth $150. And so he's going to match to the tune of 50% of whatever it is that you pledge. And what I would like to say is, in matching my $100, the first 7 people here, I brought loot. We got UULMNJ here. Because if you're going to fly, you got to look right. So I have 7 of these beautiful chalice medallions. And the first 7 people who match my $100 check get to have one of these, okay? And so how we're going to do this is, you're not going to forget about this, because as soon as I finish speaking, I'm going to walk to the back door and I'm going to stay there until every last person is out of this room. And the first 7 of you that give me a $100 check will get one of these medallions. And you know what I want to say at this point as I close off and introduce our choir, and that is, fly, UULMNJ, fly. Markus Grae-Hauck, our director. Oh, and if I could say one more thing, one point of personal privilege. I had no idea of the back cover of the program for today until I walked in, and Ann Evans was trying to tell me, look at the back cover. Oh, isn't that something? And then I sat down and I looked at it and I read it, and thank you all so much.
means working?
Ah, I have power now. Thank you so much. So the translation of this Latin text is, we give you thanks because of your great glory. And it was written almost 300 years ago, clearly in reverence to the Morristown Unitarian Fellowship for hosting this grand event. So that's Johann Sebastian Bach's tribute. And I'll speak a little bit more later about our brilliant accompanist, Thomas Parente. But right now I want to introduce Charles Laughlin and my brilliant assistant music director, Stearns Matthews. And we're going to sing a piece from a group called Brother Sun.
Oh, well, I learned as a child there's two ways to see the world as it is and the way it should be. Some people say, that's just not my problem. Some people do what must be done. They see the hole in the fabric that must be sewn. They see the way blockaded and roll back the stone. They see the day beyond the horizon. Some people do what must be done. Some people do what must be done. Well, they do what must be done. They see the day beyond the horizon. And they do what must be done. Now I've seen the toll taken, the tears that were shed. I've seen the journey started and the ripples spread. Some people say that's just not my problem. Some people do what must be done. They see the hole in the fabric that must be sewn. They see the way blockaded and roll back the stone. They see the day beyond the horizon. And they do what must be done. Some people do what must be done. Well, they do what must be done. They see the day beyond the horizon. And they do what must be done. Some people do what must be done. Well, they do what must be done. They see the day beyond the horizon. And they do what must be done. They see the day beyond the horizon. And they do what must be done. They see the day beyond the horizon. And they do what must be done.
Joe Jenks, who is the lead singer of this trio, Brother Sun, is going to perform at the Hunterdon, thank you, congregation, the Dreaming Coffee House, I believe it's called, on Friday, March 13th at 7:30 p.m. So be sure to catch that. I never heard of this group until I saw them this past summer at the GA in Providence, and I was just blown away. They're really amazing, and they actually performed at our congregation in Montclair. The other thing I wanted to mention is that this guy here, Stearns Matthews, who's our brilliant soloist, happens to be my assistant, which makes me a very lucky guy, because this guy can not only sing, he also plays piano, ukulele, melodica, and he has recorded an album called Spark, where he's singing, and I have nothing to do with this, I promise. And that album just won an award from an organization called Bistro, and it's won Best Cabaret Recording, I believe. Something like that. Yeah.
said, I'm a lucky guy, and that's true, but you're all lucky because that album is for sale out there. And I've had it on good, I think, on good faith that 10% of the sales of that album go towards the feeding of his dog. Yeah, well, 20% go to UULMNJ, we all know that. But there's 10% that go directly to the feeding of his dog, which is really important. Okay, I'm gonna shut up.
Some walls with foes. She anoints my head with oil, and my cup overflows. Surely, surely goodness and kindness will follow me all the days of my life, and I will live in her house forever, forever and ever. Glory be to our mother and daughter, and to the Holy of Holies, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen.
I told you I'm a lucky guy. And the luck continues because not only do I have a brilliant assistant, we also have the good fortune to have a very accomplished composer as a member of our congregation. And actually the congregation voted unanimously to have him be our composer in residence. And this is Thomas Parente. Where are you, Tom? Who wrote this following piece and will also be conducting it.